guys, welcome back to the channel. Another episode of The Pursuit. Thank you all for joining us today. I've got a really fun, exciting episode for you guys. I've got my friend Timothy Ryan Bartlett with us. Tim, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
So I just want to do a quick intro about this show. So I talked to you about it already a little bit, the idea, but essentially we want to create content and narratives for like-minded Christian entrepreneurs, Christian creators, and really just tell their stories, your stories, and just get it out to the public and to inspire people, inspire action, and inspire people to pursue their dreams. In this show, we talk about your personal pursuits, what you're going after, and then we pick your brain about your approach to things, your motivations, and we weave in aspects of your faith, and we want to hear about it. How your walk with God, your walk with Jesus impacts you, but we also want to delve out some practical tips, for people who might be in a similar position as you, similar industry. So, we're covering all sorts of entrepreneurs, creators in this show. So it's not like just one type, but it's anyone who is pursuing after something. We're all pursuing after something in this life. So we're here to just get your story and share it with the audience.
Great. That's really exciting.
Yeah. So I just want to do a quick intro. So Timothy is an actor and singer. He's been pursuing it since at a very young age, throughout school, high school, and into college. And you've done Broadways, off Broadways.
Done a lot of off-Broadway children's theater in New York City, as well as regional across the country. Had a couple opportunities to go internationally with some of the shows. We did a production of Christmas Carol down in Costa Rica. Had the opportunity to do like a 5-minute version of The Princess Frog at the Sochi Olympics.
Oh,
with
really
a
cool.
group
In Russia?
Yes.
Right? Okay. Very cool. Yeah. So that's one aspect of what Tim is pursuing, mainly it's acting and singing. But you also, from my understanding, you also have a lot of side hustles, which is, the nature of being an actor or a performer or an artist in New York City. And I find that really interesting because I'm sure a lot of, myself included and other performers, artists, do the same thing to, keep themselves afloat and keep pursuing. So you mentioned some of the things you do is like hospitality and event management, event planning, and you've got a few other side hustles going on. Do you want to talk about a little bit of those things, like all the other hats that you wear?
In recent years, I've come to really like the term multi-hyphenate, because growing up, we've always heard the terms triple threat as far as performers go. Like that you have to be able to act, dance, and sing. You have to be able to do all three of those things to succeed. But in my experience, the last 15, 20 years, it's grown where even that is not enough anymore. And so everybody is a multi-hyphenate artist.
Yep.
Where, yes, you act, dance, sing, some combination of those, but then also produce on your own. You may be a photographer. You may have to promote, deal with social media management. So the artists in New York City, especially with the advance of technology and the ability for individuals to spearhead projects on their own, even without a full team, has, I think, really expanded this idea of being everything to everybody. And so you're not just a triple threat, you're multi-hyphenate, because it's a whole list of different areas that you could get into.
Yeah.
But what you're asking about side hustles and everything, that's also been a major part of my career, is you need to have something that's flexible. So when I first moved to New York City, I was blessed that one of my former directors had a connection. So I just went out for drinks with him and met one of his friends, several of his friends, and we were chatting. And I was like, yeah, I just moved to the city. I've heard that catering is good for actors. I've heard that it's flexible. And one of his friends said, I'm a hiring manager at a catering company. Send me your resume.
Wow.
And so I've been with them ever since. And also through that connection, the time I spent over in California, when I ended up moving down to Los Angeles, we had a connection there as well. So I reached out to the sister company of the catering company in New York. And that same person had been involved with them. So I was able to leverage that connection to make my transfer to another city. Just pretty seamless.
Right. Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, like a classic story. You just come, you meet the right person at the right place, at the right time. And you just, like you say, you didn't necessarily like go to a job board and like search for jobs and send off your resume. You just met this one person who, it sounds like it started from that point, right? Like you could pinpoint when you got into event catering, and how it's kind of impacted your life, because you've been doing it since then, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Since 2009 was when I moved to New York City.
Okay.
For the first time. And so, the catering has been my primary source of additional income. But I've thrown all sorts of other stuff around, such as, within the catering company, I also bartend and
classic, I guess.
Drive their 15-passenger vans for out-of-town jobs. Been event management, so I take care of the event itself and delegate the bartending and the serving to other people.
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, so you were saying catering, bartending, any other hats that I know you had mentioned, like tour guides in New York City, production company. So I know you've got a lot on the list. So let me, get it all out so everyone can know all the different types of hats you've worn and like all the skill sets you've built along the way to, do each role well and also combine them. I'm sure they combine in some way too.
Yeah, there's all sorts of overlap between everything. Hospitality itself is a very presentational business. And so even if you're not feeling the best, you still have to put on your best self, put on the character that is there to serve, to make sure that the guests are having a fantastic time.
Yeah. I like the way you put that, put on the character. Very.
And, but as far as tour guiding goes, that also happened to be from that same director that I met up and had the drinks with. And when I first moved to New York, I knew that he was a tour guide. But at that time, I was like, I just moved here. I don't know anything about the city. I probably shouldn't be leading people around. Then flash forward 10, 15 years later, I ended up meeting up with him on set of a television show.
Wow.
It happened to be working on the same set and was reminded of that option. And so he gave me the information for the company. I emailed my resume to them and dropped his name. And they hired me.
Wow.
Pretty much on the spot as well.
Okay.
But yeah, tour guiding, I've come to learn, is one of the most performance adjacent careers.
Interesting. Can you unpack that for us a little bit? Like, that sounds like there's overlap and transferable skills.
So with catering, having to put on, just making sure that you're there for the guests, for the clients. But with tour guiding, on top of that, you have to make sure that you're keeping the groups entertained and focused while keeping them safe, walking them through such a busy city as New York.
Yeah.
And every site has its own history to it. And especially when you're leading school groups, a lot of kids, they don't necessarily care about dates. And I know I didn't care about dates in high school.
Yeah.
That was a big joke. It's like, you said we wouldn't have to know dates on the test.
Yeah.
But you have to make these historical sites interesting for them so that they're not just looking around at everything else going on around them, keeping them focused on the specific site that we're at so that they get the most out of their experience.
Yep.
So they'll be traveling we've had groups from California, had groups from New England. I've had a group from Spain.
Okay.
A group from the France-Switzerland border.
Yeah. A lot of Europeans.
Yeah. And with different companies as well.
Okay.
But yeah, just all sorts of different viewpoints and styles of living. Some of them are more interested in the city than others.
Yep.
Some groups will walk faster than the other groups.
Yeah.
So you have to curate each individual tour.
Curating. Yep.
In order to make sure that they're getting what they want. And some groups may not need to see everything because they walk at a slower pace.
Yep.
But as long as you're giving them an enjoyable and safe time, it's still worthwhile, even though they may have only seen 4 sites instead of 10 sites.
Yeah, it's more about the quality
Yes.
than the quantity.
But unpacking, I guess, going back to the performance adjacent, realizing that because of the historical nature of a lot of the sites, there's a lot of information that I, as a guide, need to have knowledge of and disseminate that knowledge in an interesting fashion. So it can come about as like writing a monologue that I memorize and then can repeat so that to get a lot of information out in 3 to 5 minutes.
That's cool.
And so it becomes a performance for the students and for the teachers leading them around.
Yeah. And I can imagine like maybe you even take on like some kind of character or persona as you're guiding people around. You know, maybe like if it's a historical thing, you're like I don't know, 19th century person.
I haven't done that yet, but depending on the groups, that could work.
Yeah. You know, you could take on a persona.
Or if I started branching out onto my own and leading tours that I've booked myself, then I could do that as well.
Yeah.
Dress up in a costume and
you can expand it, you know.
That's right.
Make it a whole experience. But that's really cool. So we've got acting, singing, catering, event planning, bartending, tour guiding. Am I missing anything else? Anything else?
Dabbling in photography.
Okay.
Also theater adjacent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're a respected photographer.
Oh.
I've seen your work.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I mean, of course, as a photographer, I'd love to hear more about how'd you get into it? Like, how does it affect your other, like your acting? Because you're behind the camera instead of in front of it. Maybe that two-way kind of mindset is helpful in a way.
It's definitely made me think more about what's necessary to create an appealing image as far as performance goes.
Yeah.
And part of that I'd picked up in college when, because my university had a larger budget than my high school did, I was able to suddenly realize how much went into the sets and the lighting and the costumes and how all of that together creates the whole image and experience for the audience.
Yeah.
But lighting specifically, I had no idea how much that could change the image until college.
Oh yeah.
And since doing photography, I primarily have done headshots for actors because that's such a big business in New York. I'm like, man, headshots are expensive
Yeah.
in New York City.
I mean, you've gotten them, right?
Yes.
Like yourself,
and thankfully, I've had connections for that too with different photographers so that I haven't had to pay as much as I otherwise would have. But wanting to expand that as well. And when I start a production company, having that as another tool and another thing that I can give to the actors.
Yep.
Having the ability to take headshots myself, then I could use that as additional compensation for the actors, providing them this service.
Oh, okay.
And a good quality product for them to use in future auditions.
Yeah. Yeah. I see how it's
headshots, and then that expanded into production photography. So plays and musicals.
Yeah.
Mostly with theaters that I was already working at. Okay. So if there was a show that I was not in, I would come into their dress rehearsals and take some photos just to get that experience.
Yeah.
And
so it's kind of like a behind the scenes, like documentary style, like you're
no, it's for publicity for them as well. So they put on the entire play, and I take pictures during their performance.
Okay.
So that they have record of it.
Yeah.
Still shots in addition to whatever video they've taken.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. The way when they put something on like a billboard or like a poster or something, they need that nice shot of, the set.
And for actors to have for their social media.
Okay.
They can be like, these are the characters that I've played.
Gotcha.
And these are the different looks that I can portray.
Okay. I didn't know there was a subgenre for that, production photography. I'm like,
Yeah.
Maybe I should take a look into that. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
You get to be on set. You get to work with actors and actresses, and it's like a different subject too to shoot.
Right.
Like I mostly shoot like weddings and events and couples. I do portraits and headshots too. So it's always fun to do something new.
Right. Yeah, like I've tried the wedding photography for 2 sets of friends and then one of my cousins as well. Just a little bit. But so far the idea of trying to push that into an actual career is so much responsibility in my mind that I'm like, oh man, this is the most important day of these people's lives.
Yeah.
I really want to make sure that I'm ready to take on that responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah.
And provide them with what they want and like, so that they're not disappointed afterwards.
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those things where you can't just like dabble in it because like it's someone's most important day.
Yes.
You really gotta, if you're gonna do it, you gotta like really commit to it. And I mean that's what I learned, like pursuing it myself.
3 sets of friends.
Nice. I mean that's a real good number under your belt to, that I'd say for wedding photography, it's one of those things where you just gotta do it to like understand the pressure, understand the timing, understand how to get the shots and all the major points. And it's tough because like, well, who's going to give you the opportunity if you've never done it?
Right.
It's like a catch-22 sort of situation.
Yes.
So, if you're lucky enough to get someone who takes a risk on you and, lets you shoot them, their wedding, it's what you make of it, So,
right.
I mean, you sound like someone who really cares about quality, cares about like the artistic integrity of these things, like in everything we've talked about so far. So I'm sure you brought the same thing to photography, but yeah, I get it's also it's so many things. You can't stretch yourself too thin, and you gotta focus. And I understand your main focus is acting and singing.
Yes.
Yeah. So can you tell us more about that? Like, what are you on set for these days? Like, what are some of the projects you're working on, if you're allowed to divulge some of those?
I believe I can. I mean,
Yeah.
within New York, I've been doing a lot of the last 5 years. I've been doing a lot of television background work.
Okay.
So I've worked on a ton of different shows that have filmed here. The ones that I've worked on several times have been The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I worked on
I
that.
love that show.
Seasons 3, 4, and 5, a few times each season.
3, 4, and 5. Wow.
Yeah, and
It went to 6 seasons or
5.
5? Okay, nice. You're there till the end.
And worked on Law and Order,
Okay.
FBI, FBI
Yeah.
Most Wanted, yeah, all the different Law and Orders.
Cool. And what were like
Madam Secretary.
Oh, sorry. What was that last one?
Madam Secretary.
Okay.
Worked a couple episodes. But I tend to, as far as the background work goes, I play a lot of law enforcement, so a lot of police and federal agents,
Okay.
or just, what's the word? High-class party guest, I guess you could say. Rich white guy at a party.
Okay. Nice.
For the more modern shows.
Nice.
Just based on the clothing that I own, and my hair is generally much shorter than this. I'm actually growing out this hair for a role that I'm filming on Monday.
Okay.
I don't know how much I can say about it, but it's going to be a feature film that
Awesome.
takes place in the Great Awakening.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Feature film. Wow.
Yes.
So it's that sounds like a different experience than the TV production.
It
things
can be. I mean, it's still in front of camera.
Okay.
And like they're still run the same way.
Yeah.
I think it's just from the producer's side,
Yeah.
they have different requirements and different amounts of planning that have to go into it.
Gotcha.
Television, they're focused on getting enough material to shoot for a 1-hour episode, as opposed to the feature film,
Yep.
which would be, I guess, double that.
Cool. Awesome.
But still the same general equipment and staff members needed.
Yep. Nice.
But it's something I also didn't know until I worked it myself, was how much time goes into productions for TV and film.
Yeah.
Because most of my background is in stage, in theater. And then it wasn't until the past 5 years that I really started going down the TV route and discovering that you can be filming for 14 hours for a 5-minute scene.
Yep. Yeah, that
And
sounds.
it's just exhausting days.
Yeah,
and
long.
even the principal actors, they're there the entire day too. They come in at 5 a.m. to start getting into makeup and costumes.
Wow.
And then they have to spend the whole day filming their scenes and then get home.
It's pretty long hours.
If they have families, try and spend time with them.
Okay.
But it's not all glitz and glamour
Yeah.
that you see at the awards shows.
Of course. Yeah.
So,
And you get like a firsthand account of it. I think it's great that you're in this industry, because part of the show, we want to appeal to a diverse range of audiences, and you're covering like acting and the arts and performance. So for the audience that is interested in that, I want to unpack that a little bit more. And could you talk about a little bit of your process of getting into character or preparing for shoots? Like, what is your method, and what do you think about, or what do you do you rely on past learnings or classes that you took or things like that?
Yeah, I'll drive that to the more theatrical aspect.
Yeah. Please.
So saying my background is in theater. I got my bachelor's degree in acting. I chose the acting track as opposed to the musical theater track
Okay.
so that I could spend more time in the acting classes as opposed to the music history classes.
Yes.
There's only so many credits you can take. And at the time, I felt that was going to be more beneficial for me than learning the history of different musicals or different classical works of music.
Gotcha.
So spearheading into the theatrical world as opposed to the film world, so that's where most of my background is. Especially in university, we focused a lot on realism. So our program was, at least at that time, very, very focused and very, I don't want to say aggressively towards, but pursuing realism. We actually had a class called The Pursuit of Realism.
Nice.
Yes. Title of podcast.
I like that.
And so a lot of the classes and time in class was spent on trying to be as simple as possible, as real as possible.
Okay.
Not overacting. And I guess one example could be when they were teaching us if we had a character that was drunk. They taught us that you don't play drunk because nobody that is drunk is trying to be drunk.
Okay.
So they're trying to be sober, trying to not let other people know that they are drunk already. And so if you're being as real as possible while playing a drunk character, you need to be trying to get your thoughts across to them, but failing, as opposed to just slang, this is how they talk. It's like, no, I need you to know. I need you to know this.
I saw the difference there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so that's one example. But within realism, there's lots of different tools to bring that out. So we would do a lot of character analysis beforehand.
Okay.
Where we would sit down with a script and ask questions about this character to ourselves. So you have the basic, what is their name, where are they from? But then going into, well, what was their relationship with their parents? How do they feel about this other person? The setting that they're in. Is this somewhere where they're comfortable? Do they enjoy being at home? Would they rather be out at work? So asking all these detailed questions about this character to flesh them out so that you're not just relying on the words being said.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that you can communicate additional ideas, and that also influences how you respond to the other characters' lines directed at them.
Yep. And I guess that could be through, because you said there's only a limited number of words you get right in your lines. So everything else you want to convey is through body language, through facial expression,
right?
And asking those questions.
Inner monologues. I think one of the big. There's a book called Audition by Michael Shurtleff that I had studied in high school and then studied even more in college, where it had, I believe it was 12 guideposts of the different things you need to know about your character before actually putting on the performance.
12.
Yeah. And man, I should have brushed up on this.
It's okay.
But yeah, setting is one of them.
Okay.
But one that really impacted me a lot with my performances was the moment before.
Okay. I mean,
Is what it's called. And
moment
so you need to know what you were doing the moment before you step on stage.
oh, I
So
like that a lot.
if
Yeah.
perhaps you just got in a fight with your girlfriend and you are now leaving the house slamming the door, you need to have that emotional state of just having this major argument before you start then delivering your monologue to the audience about how difficult relationships are and you wish
Yep.
that things were different.
Yeah. That's a really great insight.
Yeah.
And a really great tip from that book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was,
Is that something?
and also because scenes almost never begin at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's what is most interesting in life is the middle of conversations and the middle of arguments.
Yep.
And so if you don't know what has just transpired before the scene starts, you're not going to be able to realistically convey that meat, that middle section.
Yeah. Very insightful. That's like a good nugget for anyone who's pursuing acting, I think.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
But so yeah, I guess as far as other texts that we studied, because of it being largely focused on realism, we read a lot of Stanislavski and then Uta Hagen after that as well. Michael Shurtleff.
Okay. I wish I knew
Just
who these
all
people
names.
were.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if you're in the acting world, I'm sure you get it.
You've
but,
heard of them.
I mean, that's the awesome thing about finding people who are really passionate about their craft and really into it, because it's like the knowledge you have to gain to really be a pro, a master at the craft, right? I was at a shoot recently, and I'm a self-taught photographer.
Okay.
And a lot of what I learned was like through trial and error, through YouTube tutorials, through like online workshops. I never took like a formal class or anything like that. But it's great that in this day and age with technology and the openness of information, you can do that for a lot of different subjects and interests, like photography. But I will say one thing you kind of miss out on by not doing this more classical route of like going to school, going to classes, and doing in-person things is like you don't know some of the foundational work that's laid by people before you. Because I was at the shoot and this guy was asking me, "Oh, you must know about this photographer and this photographer and this photographer," and I was like, "Man, those are some of the names I caught, like."
Right.
Like in the photography world, like, Ansel Adams at Ansel. Man, I'm messing that up. But he's like, I'm pretty sure it's Ansel Adams. But he's like a world-renowned black and white photographer.
Okay.
If you want to get into black and white photography, you start there. So I know of a handful, but then there's like so many that I don't know. And it made me realize like, oh, there's like a foundational level like that I should learn, that you get through like classes and going to school for it. And I'm not saying it's like the right way, but it is a rich way to do it. You get more out of it, understanding the classics, the people who came before you type of thing.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I want to tie that into understanding people and things that happened before. I think that's one of my favorite things about acting is playing characters that are different from myself, which people can get into full arguments and conversations about whether that's appropriate or not. Especially in modern times, they're always like, no, we should we should cast someone who has lived this experience. But I believe that the whole purpose of acting is to play characters that are different from yourself.
Yep.
And then you can start to understand different viewpoints by doing that as well.
Yeah.
And so that is where realism comes in, is that if you're playing a character who's completely different from yourself, you need to do your homework and figure out, why is this person like that? One reason why I like to play the villain in plays. The villain never thinks of himself as the villain. He always has a reason for everything that he does. So two characters that I'd love to play in life, Javert in Les Mis, who is the police inspector, extremely self-righteous, and if you can be seen as just this terrible person who wants to lock up someone for stealing a loaf of bread. But his character, he's very focused on following the law. He believes that the law is right, and that if someone breaks the law, they need to pay for their crime. And so instead of just playing him as an evil character, you need to play, he believes that he is in the right. And that's the case with all villains. Iago in Othello.
Okay.
He believes that everything he's doing, he is justified in doing.
You really sounds like you really think about these characters and their motivations, and then
even with a not so villainous character, but I've multiple times played Claudio in Much Ado About Nothing by Shakespeare, and he's just this very fresh-faced, one of the, he's called Blackbeard because he's young, very naive, but he's one of the love interests, very nice guy. And so he ends up, throughout the progression, getting engaged to another character named Hero. And then the villain makes it seem like Hero has cheated on him the night before the wedding. And so at the wedding, he denounces her, basically calls her a whore, and says, I am not going to marry you, and it's all your fault. And so I remember one of the times I played this, the girl that was playing opposite of me was one of my friends, and so I made sure to tell her beforehand, I'm like, look, I am going to go as hard and deep into this as possible. I am going to rip you apart. Please know that I do not think this about you. Please know that the character Claudio is really hurt, and I'm going to play that hurt as strongly as possible and make you feel as crappy about yourself as possible. Please know that as soon as we step off the stage, that's not what I think about you.
Yeah. That's acting. Right?
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. So many interesting roles that you've done, it sounds like. And some recurring too. So I'm sure you know these characters pretty well, actually. But I wanted to talk a little bit. So we've kind of covered like a good amount of your acting. You started talking about your family a little bit, your parents' support, which is awesome. And I actually wanted to get into a little bit more about your upbringing and your background in terms of like family life and your faith life, because this is a big part of the show. Could you tell us a little bit more about your upbringing and like how you came to faith?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I grew up in a Christian home. I was blessed with that as well. My parents are both believers, and so my dad was actually a teacher at a private Christian school, which allowed me to attend that school tuition free. Also, from kindergarten to second grade, we went there. Then that school closed. So for third and fourth grade, I homeschooled. And then fifth grade, some of the teachers from the first school had started a new one. So I attended that new school. Then we moved to Virginia, where my dad got another job as a teacher. So I was able to go to that school without tuition.
Nice.
But yeah, so they're all Christian schools. And so I accepted Christ in kindergarten.
Very young age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then throughout life, as I learned more and more and about walking in the Spirit and everything, like, my relationship has definitely grown over the years from that initial accepting of Christ.
Yeah.
But a lot of times I've struggled with the concept of what's it called? Like a testimony.
Okay.
And so, because every time people share their testimonies at churches or retreats, there's very often this big conversion moment where their whole life changes. And because I did not have that, I always, I guess, felt a little bummed that I didn't have that. That I was like, well, no, I've known Jesus since I was 5 years old. Never really rebelled. But in the past 5 to 10 years, have started realizing how much of a blessing and a testimony that is.
Yeah.
Especially in the theater industry, recognizing how much anxiety and depression is present in the performing arts. Because the arts very often show broken situations, it tends to draw people who have gone through those situations themselves.
Yeah.
And also just all the rejection that happens in the theater world. It's like you can audition for 100 shows and get one call back.
Yeah.
And so you're hearing no a lot. Yeah. And so I've realized over the years that because I have that strong foundation with Christ, in addition to a loving family, that I've been blessed to not have to experience a lot of pain that I could have experienced. And it's allowed me to face that rejection without it affecting my sense of self-worth.
Yeah.
No matter how many times I don't get the role that I want or think I deserve,
Yeah.
I know that God still loves me and that my worth doesn't come from a producer saying, oh yeah, you belong on that stage. That my worth comes from God.
Yeah.
And also realizing just throughout life in general, if relationships haven't worked out or friends fall away, while it hurts in that moment, the knowledge that God is still with me, that Jesus is still by my side, has allowed me to deal with that pain.
Yeah.
I remember having a conversation with I think this was actually on a date once. We were talking about pain and struggles and how a lot of people go to counseling and everything, which counseling is a great thing. It helps people a lot. For me, I've often found my relationship with Jesus to be my form of counseling as well. And that, like, when I talk to God, I can spew whatever I want to him and let him know, like, that's what my image of what happens in a counseling session is. It's what they show in TV and films is someone laying on a couch, just letting out all their emotions. Which I do that to God.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And it's like, so realizing that is therapy as well.
Yep. Just about to say that.
But realize, so I was expressing that to this girl that I was on a date with, that I was like, well, I have not been to a counselor for
or
anything,
like a therapist.
or a therapist.
Formally.
Haven't felt the need to, because I'm able to express that to God directly.
Yeah.
But then also having the family support behind me as well, knowing that I can always go to them when times are tough.
Yeah, that's awesome. God, Jesus being your therapist. That's the best. First of all, it's the best therapist, right? Especially for as Christians, but also saves a lot of money.
True. And I've also found on a few occasions that it's when I've if there's a decision that I've not wanted to make, but I then put it in God's hands and be like, if this isn't for me, take it away. Like, that's a dangerous prayer to pray. Because he will take it away. Once and it's happened a couple times where I've been like, all right, I want this, but if it's not for me, take it away. And he has taken it away. And I'm like, oh, why? But trusting, later on, I see why it was taken away. And how my life has turned out better because of it.
Where are you now, you would say? And where are you seeing yourself in, let's say, like 5 years? Where's this pursuit like taking you? And
it's always in a state of flux.
Okay.
Like when I first moved to New York in 2009, the idea of success was, while I absolutely wanted to be on Broadway, but I was still like in my head defining success as just being able to support a family entirely by performing.
Okay. So success to you would be making...
And that's still the case.
Okay.
But in recent years, my focus has started to shift from strictly performing to potentially producing. And that's where that production company that we had talked about before comes in. It's like starting to realize that all the different theater companies that I've worked for to this point have little by little been building my capabilities to know what it takes to produce a show. And knowing what other staff members I need to make a successful show. Where I'm not just trying to do everything on my own, that people have different skill sets. Like the church, the body of Christ, has different skill sets.
Beautiful transition.
It's true just from a artistic and business perspective. Everybody has different areas where they're gifted. And capitalizing, bringing those people together to produce an experience for the audience, but also for the performers themselves, giving them an experience that's different from other theaters they've worked for. So like one of my focuses is pay. When I first moved to New York, I had made a commitment that I was not going to work for free unless it was for like a very good friend or a project that I believed in. And for the most part, I've stuck with that. And a lot of it hasn't paid much, but it's been something.
Mm-hmm.
So now, as I've gotten older and as everything continues to get more expensive, realizing that just like I want to be able to support myself and support a family by performing, everyone else involved feels the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I produce something, I want to make sure to be able to pay them.
Yeah.
And so my focus for this upcoming company is I do still want to work with non-union primarily, because that's another thing that people have defined success in the arts world as, or a measure of success being when you join the union.
I see.
But I want to kind of combat that and tell people, because I'm sure there's countless other people like me who, for just one reason or another, have never joined the union.
I see.
Whether it's they couldn't afford the initiation fees,
Oh.
or they had a child,
Yeah.
and so then they're focused on raising the child,
Right.
or just the rejection has gotten to them. And so they took a step back and took a more stable career. So I want to work with non-union performers, show them that their skills are still valuable, that they have not failed,
Yeah.
and give them, refresh their minds, refresh their spirits, let them have a time where they can come to love the art form of performance again, while being compensated appropriately for it.
Yeah.
And so this is a God thing. Like, I don't know where money comes from a lot of times. But I was like, the ideal world would be able to pay these actors union wages, even though they're non-union.
Gotcha.
And also provide the safety environment that a lot of times union productions will have.
Okay.
And like, there's more protections for the performers.
Gotcha.
And so, yeah, creating a respectful environment where they're not worried about, not worried about money, but also not worried about emotional abuse, or for women in the industry, not worried about the men hitting on them while they're just trying to create a character. That we're there to enjoy the art form together and have a good time together.
Yeah. I like the very clear mission, like non-union performers, but doing union level productions.
Right.
Yeah. It's cool.
And then potentially providing, I had mentioned, one reason people not being able to do it is that they suddenly have a child, and being able to provide childcare at rehearsal, so that they're not worried about that. And then also being potentially connected to different pastors around.
Okay.
So while it's not a Christian company, we are connected to these networks so that we're able to provide counseling to people if they end up needing it or wanting it.
Right. It's awesome. Yeah. Definitely. God is, I can see what you mean by like, all of that costs money, and funding. So it's like, but it also sounds like such a noble endeavor. So it's like, you really hope God opens the doors for it.
Through, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've seen many nonprofit theaters that do great productions.
Yeah.
And so the money is out there.
Yep.
It's just a matter of finding it and connecting the right people.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Like if that's your end goal, like I mean, I would love to see it, come to fruition.
Yeah.
And it's what you can really see the transition of your all the stages, like you were saying, like you're still in acting and still pursuing it, but
Right.
I find it interesting that your end goal is in a place that is kind of like the next evolution of it
Right.
in a way.
And it's something that I never sought out.
Mm.
It's like, I think a lot of it started with, I was doing a production of Sleepy Hollow,
Okay.
which was going on for quite a while. And it was more focused on like a middle school audience.
Yeah.
And so at the time, one of the other actors in it, who was one of my best friends, still is,
Yeah.
he and I were like, you know what? Let's write our own dark musical focused on an adult audience.
Nice. Dark music.
So a dark musical focused with a target audience of adults. And so we decided to write Dracula because it's public domain. And so we didn't have to worry about getting any rights. And so for the past 12 years now, I think we've been I think we first wrote it in 2012. And so we've been progressively, we had it mostly written. My friend wrote the script, adapted the book into a script, and wrote the lyrics. And then I wrote the music for the show.
Very cool.
And so at the time in my head, I was like, it's something to do to pass the time and let out some steam.
Yeah.
But then my friend has been very driven with it over the years. And so every year is like, so what are we doing with Dracula this year?
Yeah.
And
that's kind of cool. Like a project you keep revisiting.
Yeah. And then I moved to California, did a couple things on my own with it, but then came back to New York and stayed in touch with him. Ended up him being my roommate again when I moved back to New York. And it's like, so Dracula, what are we doing? And so having that driving force behind me to push me into the world of producing, which I had never planned on doing. But I think I had also briefly mentioned the different theater companies I've worked for before have been preparing me for this. Like there was a children's theater in California that I worked for where part of the contract, it wasn't just acting. We also had to work in the office, do some fundraising calls. We worked in the shop. And so I was learning a lot over the summer, they ran a camp for children. So my role there was administrative director. So I had to learn all of these different aspects of the producing world, which I had never asked for, never wanted. I'm like, I just want to act.
Yeah.
But God has kept step by step putting opportunities in my path to learn more about producing. And a couple years ago, I think it was 2022, when we produced Dracula, we did a 2-weekend run in Brooklyn.
Ooh, cool.
And at a black box theater there. And went through the process of casting. That time it wasn't all friends of mine. There were a couple of friends that were in the show, but it was mostly people that had just auditioned for us. And so seeing that all come together and having some of those actors reach out to my friend Jonathan and I afterwards, saying, just thanking us for the experience and confirming for us that we were running things differently
Yeah.
than they had experienced before.
Mm.
That they felt respected when they were with us,
Yeah.
and they appreciated the truthfulness of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That's great. You're kind of getting
in
like some
time.
early feedback, early validation.
Yeah,
Like it's almost like your proof of concept stage. Like you're putting on together the show, start to finish, every aspect of the production you're overseeing and being a part of, and then you finish it, and then you get feedback for how it turned out, right? 'Cause
right.
like the production company has to produce something, and then you hope it resonates with people.
Yes.
And sounds like it did. So
And
a good.
hearing that it resonates with the team that did it,
Right.
and knowing that we've had several repeat people in the production as well, so that they're excited to come back and do it again, has been a blessing
Yeah.
and an encouragement.
Nice. That is awesome. And so we just wrapped up talking about your next plans and your production company coming up. Do you have a name for it? Any tentative ideas?
I'm thinking of calling it Spring Up Productions.
Okay. Spring Up Productions.
So like the idea of multiple ideas have started to grow out of that in my head. The idea of a wellspring springing up,
Yeah.
a geyser of into the community around you,
Yeah.
just providing life and nourishment.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah.
Part of that initially, I will admit, came from Wellspring Church,
Yeah.
where I've attended for many years. But I didn't want to be too on the nose.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Totally.
I was like, Spring Up.
That is a great. Yeah.
But realized also I'm starting to. Initially, I was thinking of it just being New York centered, but realizing that no, I can spring up anywhere. I can spring up around the country.
Yep.
I could even spring up in different countries. Just whether that's with actors that I've already rehearsed something with and then we take it on tour, or whether I, as a producer, spring up in different cities and produce something there with local actors. Sharing that same vision with them to let them know that just because they're not in Los Angeles or Chicago or New York or London, that if they're just in Alabama or if they're in New Zealand, something that their talents are still valuable, and that they have something to offer, and providing that opportunity for them to showcase their gifts and their talents.
Yeah. I like the almost like mobile, nomadic, like you can do it anywhere in nature of that.
Right.
Yeah. Because then it allows you to, impact communities like anywhere you go. And there's like a sense of freedom to that.
Right.
Probably. Yeah.
But yeah, then also depending on what city I'm in, if I'm there for a longer period, I could potentially also bring performers from the city centers and give the audiences in those local communities a Broadway level experience in their local community.
Yeah.
Which I'm aware of some other companies that have a similar vision.
Yeah.
And have had some initial success in, because of their connections that they made while in New York. The company in, I believe it's Northwest Arkansas, has they've been able to provide wonderful performance evenings for the local community there with Broadway performers.
Nice.
So
nice. Awesome. Wow. I could end the interview there, honestly, on that note, because that's like a full circle. But there is one big question that I wanted to. I'll end it with this one. We've talked about your almost entire journey from the beginning till where you are now, acting, singing, production, and now wanting to start your own production company. And it's cool hearing, even from the beginning, like getting this tech actor job. It was almost like, oh yeah, you're already getting your foot in the door and seeing other aspects of theater.
Absolutely.
So it's like from the beginning, this is a theme. And so my question is, what advice would you give to the audience, to anyone in your position, to anyone pursuing performing arts, theater, acting? I know it's a pretty general question, and it's like, how specific do you want to be? But I guess if you can tailor it to, actors and performing arts, people who are interested in that, whether they're, I'll leave it to you. Maybe you want to give advice for people who are at the beginning or middle stage, or
All right.
where you are now, or maybe you can touch on all, whatever sage advice you have. Yeah.
One of the major pieces of advice that I come back to is never take anything personally in this industry, especially when it comes to casting.
Okay.
When you don't get the role, it is almost never about you. It's, well, yes, sometimes there are more talented actors or better dancers. Like, I'm not a dancer, so I've definitely lost out on many roles because I don't dance. But a lot of times it's really just about who they've already cast. It's like, if they cast one actor, then they're looking for somebody that looks good next to that person. Sometimes it's the height. Sometimes in television, if they don't put you on camera, it could just be the color shirt you're wearing that the director is like, no, that's going to be too distracting on camera. So they pick someone else.
Gotcha.
As far as the theater world goes, I remember we had this one workshop in college called Managing a Performance Career. And our teacher, told us, he brought out this stack of headshots and resumes, puts it down on the table. And just looking at pictures at first, it's like, no. Picks one up, then flips it over to look at the resume. Maybe.
Yeah.
No. Yes. And so you can have a stack of 500 headshots and resumes. Now it's all done on computer, clicking through.
Yeah.
But just realizing that it very often does not have to do anything with your talent.
Yeah.
If you don't get the role, it's not saying you're a bad actor.
Yeah.
There are so many different variables and reasons why they could have chosen someone else.
Yeah.
But then on the same token, staying humble and realizing that there are a lot of talented people in the world. And so you do still have to work hard and keep honing your craft, no matter how long you're in the industry. Which is something that I am continuing to realize, is that you can't get complacent and coast. You do still, while you don't place your identity in getting the role, you do still have to continue practicing and growing.
Yep. Mastering the craft.
Yeah. But yeah, so don't take it personally and don't burn any bridges. Because you never know where your next opportunity is going to come from.
Yep.
And it's a small industry. People know each other. So if you burn a bridge with one director, in the future. You may be auditioning for something else, and those two directors know each other.
Ooh.
So if you're a jerk to one and terrible to work with, then that information is going to spread around, and it will limit your opportunities in the future.
Yeah. Okay. That is good. I'm going to apply that to my situation right now, actually.
Well, yes, you don't want to let people take advantage of you.
Okay.
On the same token, I guess this is a biblical perspective.
Yeah.
Turn the other cheek, and while you may step away from them so that you're not allowing yourself to be harmed, don't just blow up at them and entirely burn that bridge so that then they think that you're just a terrible person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always leave with respect.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you again, Tim, for that awesome conversation and covering the acting and film industry and giving us all your insights into that world. So right now, I want to give you a chance. We have a couple cameras rolling. There's one on us, one on you. I want to let the world know what you're up to. So please let people know where we can follow you and check out your work.
Great, thank you. So I primarily use Instagram. So you can find me on IG at Tim's Face. That's my face, no apostrophe. And that is also my website, timsface.com. And if you want to check out anything about Dracula, the full title is Dracula, Lord of the Dark. And you can find clips of that on Instagram as well as on YouTube. And the production company name that we were working under with that is Figuratively Literary. So one of the key words for that would just be Fig Lit Live is where you can find all things Dracula.
Awesome. Yeah, please check out Tim's work and his website and his portfolio. I'm Garland Queck. I've been your host. Thank you for joining us on The Pursuit, Tim.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching this episode. If you guys want to see more content like this, where we talk about faith, entrepreneurship, passions, and pursuits, please like and subscribe for more, and stay tuned for the next episode. So we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.